evening. Welcome back to Kleiner's Kravenarium. I'm Raz, and I'm joined by almost the entire team, minus Yesenia, who we are going to miss tonight. But don't worry, listeners, if you followed Cthulhu in Cairo, if you were a Cthulhu in Cairo fan and one of the many, many listeners that we had all over the place, you're going to recognize that when someone misses a show, they get punished. So we're going to make sure we take care of that next time. That's just the way we do it here. It's just all in fun. So you stay tuned, because in 2 episodes, not this one, not the next one, she'll be back. It's just going to be me and her, mano a mano. We'll have a lot of fun with that. So, Betty, have a good time wherever you are. Hope you get home safely. But in the meantime, though, we're here with everybody else, and I want to say hello to them. How's Joel tonight playing Cyrus Boone? Joel, how are you? Good?
I'm doing good. Feeling good.
Feeling good? Awesome. And Mercy Clark is played by Lauren Grigoletti, obviously. Lauren, how are you tonight? I see there's
I'm
a tea.
Great.
And I see you have a tea.
Yes, a authentic British tea with the milk and everything.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Which kind of tea?
It's an Earl Grey with some milk.
Earl Grey is lemon, isn't it?
You can drink it with milk?
No.
Is that a Twinings or a Bigelow?
Just a Bigelow. And
Twinings?
everywhere I go.
Twinings is better than Bigelow, yeah.
Okay, so now we're
sorry for any Bigelow fans out there.
Yes, and if we were going to have a deal with Bigelow, we just lost it. So whatever that was, we were just gone. I was so close.
Damn it.
I'm not a purist. I love all tea.
There you go. And Chris is playing Steinar Broom. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm starving. My wife's not home. She's out on the road. It's just like I told you, I'm a complete disaster in the kitchen. So I'm over here just in pain, hunger pangs. Just oh God, what can I do? So yeah, I'm good.
She doesn't meal prep for you before she leaves?
Oh God, no. Good luck, kid. And I'm like, okay, thanks, bye. Yeah.
See you in 2 weeks.
See ya.
There's $50 in the cookie jar. Good luck.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, I grew up like that. I was a latchkey kid, and Joel can attest to this. There was many a time when I'd be like, I don't have parents home.
Oh yeah. Dinner out. Like we're gonna go pick up dinner, which for me was amazing because we never ate out.
Yeah, different.
It was like, oh great, again.
To be fair, I make a mean bowl of oatmeal. I mean, just
nice.
Instant oats, water. Just pop that thing in the microwave and just eat away.
In the toaster oven. Oh shit!
Oh yeah.
I wonder it's not coming out right.
Oh man,
it's pretty messy when I do it. Yeah.
And playing Adelaide, our favorite. So far our favorite punching bag, which we don't want to keep doing. We feel bad for Adelaide right now.
No, we'll try to keep her safe.
We're trying to keep her safe. This is Brenda. How are you tonight, ma'am?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. Good to have you here. Thank you. Look excited. So, we're going to go forward on this and see where we're at. So the last time we left off, listeners and viewers, because now the show is going to be back in podcast format as well, which we're very excited about because I know a lot of people haven't really tried to jump in with YouTube. It's just been hard for them because they use it as a commuting thing. So glad to have you back. We're looking forward to seeing those the comments again and getting everybody back into the same swing of things on that platform. So look for us out on Anchor and all the other ones in case you're watching this somehow and didn't know we were going to do that. But when we last left off, the team had gotten Max back from the creditors, and they had also investigated the biscuit place where there had been another tragedy, another unfortunate death of a mid-tiered, lower upper middle class type person who was adjacent to the money, but yet found themselves apparently doing themselves harm and not sure why. Theories are starting to abound. The team's here tonight. We're going to find out what's going on with them and what they want to check in on. But we'll get back. So team, where are we at? What do you want to do with that? Because there are, like you said, Mercy's starting to have some ideas. People are starting to put 2 and 2 together, but is it adding up to 6? We're going to find out. So Mercy, what are you thinking at this point?
I love that you've called on me first.
Do you?
Clearly not.
Totally.
Storyteller, thank you so much. Pass.
Storyteller, this has been great. Teacher, I did my homework. I did do it, and I'm gonna get there.
I'm prepared.
Go ahead.
I give 5 points.
Somebody else wants to take this. I will key in.
So who wants to take? So the team's where we left off. The team can be back together again at the circus.
Yeah.
It's the night now. The next performer was supposed to be. The next performer is going to be Yesenia. So we're going to move that around a little bit. So tonight we're going to say that with everything that happened with the big performance the night before, the circus is kind of down for the night and getting ready for the weekend, which is fine. We'll do that, and then we'll touch base on that performance sometime down the road, because I know that I didn't have Brenna set up, and she would be next to go after Yesenia. So, yeah, we'll play it from there. So back at the circus grounds, Max is back. Everybody's back together. Cyrus, what are you thinking? Where do you want to start dipping your toe in to find out more information, or where you want to go from here?
If I may, we have a
Please.
list of victims, and we have this strange tea.
Correct.
So I think we have a connection. What we need to do is we need to find out who has used this tea recently. And I don't know if we're going to get that out of the tea house, but we need to find out, because I think that's going to shed a whole lot more light on what this stuff actually does, how it affects people, and how long they have after they've drank it.
All right.
I will drink it.
Please don't.
What?
No, don't drink the tea.
Yes, do not.
It's killing people.
Yes,
we don't know
it
that.
is. We're putting 2 and 2 together, and I think that equals 4. So I'm going to say it's probably killing people.
It could be interesting.
In the immortal Johnny Mathis, chances are, you probably
Right?
it's probably a good. It's not a bad assumption that the tea might be involved in people's deaths. Like, we're kind of.
I haven't died yet.
Dear child, do please try to avoid the business end of the teapot.
Right. So how would you go about getting that information, Steinar and team? What are you thinking? How do you find out exactly, A, who's had this tea, or how it's being made, what it's being made with?
We need to find the supplier.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need to find who's supplying the tea house, because she already made it pretty clear that well, she didn't make it clear to me because I wasn't there, but she made it clear to the team that she wasn't going to tell him. It was
Right.
a mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we do know is it's expensive, it's exclusive, it seems to be popular. We got those impressions for sure. And this fits in sort of at least in my mind, and I could be wrong, but some sort of high society thing, right? So they're all getting together.
Yeah.
They've got new money. They want to look cool. Let's go get some strange tea. They trip. They die.
Here's a strange idea. Those spores that were collected by a four-legged friend, is it possible that somehow they have been mixed into that tea mixture and play into this in some way?
From the crazy tree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rather
That's been my thought. Since Adelaide touched the tree, had her wild experience, she's starting to think that maybe these people are experiencing the same thing she did, which is the feelings of rejection, hatred, and fear. I think that we have a few names who have not had deaths attached to them yet, but they are attached to the other victims. And I think we should probably also check up on their relatives, like the sculptor.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one name that we have who is close to the opera singer who we know takes people to the tea.
Yeah, Rupert Cox is the gentleman who's
Yes,
the
Rupert
sculptor.
Cox.
Yep.
So we have a few names that we could at least keep tabs on.
And with the spores that you were speaking of, they weren't actually from the tree. He got them when he was by a grave.
Yeah, they were on the grave.
They were on a grave, one of the recent graves that is where it's Oscar, right?
Oscar, yes.
Yeah, Oscar came back with the spores all over his fur and hands.
Yes.
So he had touched something near the grave when they were being questioned by the old man at the guard at the cemetery at Fur Park.
It might be worth checking in the graves again one last time, because
As long as you don't touch anything.
they don't touch anything, because I'm wondering if something is growing out of the graves.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a thought. It may be a wacky, out of left wing thought, but hear me out. What if we put in an anonymous tip to the police saying, hey, all these people that have been dying, they're going to this tea shop. I hear there's a rumor going around they're drinking this tea. And we watch the tea shop. And if anybody is acting sus or scurrying around once the pressure's put on them, maybe that'll lead us to the supplier.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Graveyard victim or graveyard associated people, and then maybe the tea house in that order.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So the graveyard, you're going back during the day or during the night?
During the day,
During
please.
the day, so we can walk
Yes.
it freely and look for stuff because we're looking
Yeah.
for plant
Yeah.
matter.
What is wrong with you people? It's a
What?
horror game. I mean, come on.
We don't want to get mauled by a dog. I mean,
Yeah, we've learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be
There's a
silly.
tree with many faces and like giant mastiffs. We're going during the day.
Yeah, there's a mastiff.
No one wanders with a gun during the day. That's a good start. Can
That's usually true.
you imagine in the middle of the day? What are you doing here? Graveyard?
Flowers? Yeah.
Yeah.
Posies. All right. So we're going to start with the cemetery. So back up to Fur Park you go, which doesn't seem to be that far of a stretch because somehow this is all somewhat connected, right? And the tree again, the tree when you crest up you come up by the cathedral and then you're going down this long sloping like walkway, this path that would normally be for the hearses, the old horse pulled carriage hearses and things. You can walk along that sort of path. And as you approach way off in the distance, just behind the wrought iron fence at the back level, the back area of the cemetery, you can see that tree off in the distance. Again, never really thought about it before, but now that you've had some sort of a glow from it at night, you saw it was maybe, it looks to be Vason affected. That's in your transium of thought. But you get in and you make your way through the cemetery. And yeah, there are other mourners here. There's people, but there's also, as you come up, off not far from where the tree would be, you're starting to see as you're moving around, you're starting to see that there are several bobbies, short cloaked, blue hats, truncheon, the whole bit, blocking the way, and mourners are being told to just move on.
Oh.
And they're in the back of the cemetery, and they're blocking that area not far from where the burials were, where Oscar found those spores. Now you probably can get to those, but the cops will be witnessing you because there's about 6 of them, and they're all with their like arms like this, just blocking the back corner of the cemetery.
Yeah, I wonder if there was another grave robbing. Probably what
Could
happened.
be.
Yeah.
Yep.
If something is growing out of the graves, and if there's a T, and these bodies go missing.
Ew.
Also, I'm looking for Oscar because he went missing last time I was here. So hopefully he's still here, or you went to the circus. He's somewhere. But
Yeah.
He is people.
How would you try to? I'm sure you and Oscar have some sort of a come back here, Oscar, like a whistle or a Oscar.
She makes noises. She makes little rat noises with her mouth.
Near the police? Do you do that one near the police, or is that more of a by yourself type of sound?
With the group, but we're not probably up to the police yet. But she's
right. No.
Yeah.
But if you walk up and, officer, what happened? Like, okay.
No.
Not good for
No,
1865.
probably
That's
not,
not. Yeah. Yes. So you start calling for Oscar. Doesn't appear right away. Doesn't seem like if he's out there, he's not in this area hearing you. But again, Oscar, he is independent. He's connected to you. He'll always want to come back to you like a trained animal, but he is, he does roam. He's independent to some extent.
Sure. I just want to make sure he wasn't shot.
No, right now you're not getting a sense of a loss yet.
Okay.
So, I mean, and I think that there would be enough of a connection where I'm not saying it's like a twin where a twin feels the other twin, but I think you would start being like panicky or nervous if you felt something might have happened to him.
Okay.
That premonition. You don't have that.
Okay, cool.
But as you walk past the grave where Oscar did come up to the stuff, you're about, I'm going to say maybe 50 feet from the police at this point. And you see that there's a sheet up. Like they've tied a sheet off to several of the stones. And it's a long, like tarpon almost. But coming out of the grave at the corner are mushrooms that are red and black.
Shit.
That's where Oscar found the spores, and they have grown.
Okay. Great.
We need one of those shrooms.
Sure.
If we had that rat.
We might be growing some back at the circus.
That's true.
What?
Oh,
What?
sorry. I didn't say that.
Don't worry, I got it covered. A couple of days, little shade. We're good.
We'll make our own tea.
Yeah. But yes, they are, and they're small. They're just budlings at this point. Barely, but they are capped, and they are a blackish mushroom with a red undercap.
Got it.
And they're coming out of the grave dirt itself, not near it, from the actual earth of the grave. So the police, if you want to talk to them, you approach another 40, 50 feet, moving through the headstones, and they're there blocking it and the whole bit. So who wants to go up and make that conversation?
Perhaps if maybe the two girls would go up together, and while Mercy talked to her, the Adelaide could fall to the ground or feign falling to the ground and collect a few of the mushrooms.
Oh no, she was able to get them without the police noticing. She just bent down to the grave and kind of was tidying it up and grabbed a couple.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, so we have mushrooms.
We have a couple mushrooms.
Mushrooms obtained. Okay.
It's the police. I'm just making sure if that's what you want to do is talk to the cops.
Why not?
Yeah. Okay.
Go.
I'm not though. I'm not the talker.
I know, but
You're not the talker, but you're the most normal looking. Sadly,
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
I've got pancake makeup on my face and a giant forked beard.
Right.
Someone has no eyebrows,
and the other one's blind.
and the other one is the cockiest person in the group who literally can't see.
Right.
Wandering around, going, "You there, sir?" and walking.
So
the tree.
police talk Steinar because you're a military man. Probably not a bad call.
I'll go with you.
All right.
Yeah, we'll go with you.
I got it.
All right.
I got it.
Okay.
I'll guide Mercy. It's as
Okay.
if we're visiting a
Steinar?
grave.
That's a fine idea.
Yeah. there we go.
Steinar, could you grab
Yes.
me a bouquet of flowers, please?
Yes, totally.
From
I'm gonna
where?
just wipe one just
Another
off of the
grave.
grave.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Great.
you.
Grab them off the grave, and not
Nice.
not even thinking twice of it, and I'm doing it quickly. Then
Okay.
handing it
Yeah,
to
we're
Mercy.
not even going to think that the cops are a little preoccupied, and they are they look. So as you approach Steinar, go ahead and give me an what is it? An observation check on this game? Let me see. It's what is it? Observation. Yeah. Give me an observation roll, please.
You got it.
So again, you roll based on your skills and your abilities. So observation falls under the empathy ability. Yep. And
one.
Yep. So he'll roll dice equal to those two numbers, and if he gets a 6, that's a success. The more 6s, the stronger the success. But 1 is all you ever need
Yes,
traditionally.
Steinar, Dad?
Just yeah, you could. Well, Mercy, you're blind. So
Okay.
and you see vase in color. They would be shadow to you. So yeah,
Okay.
it's hard to see them. Steinar, the gentleman you're approaching, veteran police officer, just by his look, like you don't join the force in your 50s, right? Like this guy's been around for a while. He's a sergeant. So he's probably been patrolman a long time, have to come up through the rank that way, like never really made officer, but sergeant. He looks a little shaken as you approach.
Oh.
He looks a little like, don't see that every day. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Walk up and kind of look surprised and walk up to him, Mercy in hand. We were here to visit a grave. Is something wrong? Should we come back at another time?
I would think it's probably for the best, sir.
May I ask what? We have limited amount of time, and as you see, the poor girl here, while she could come back during the night, I would prefer not to.
Well, no, night would be closed off now, sir. Probably should have been last night for the poor bastard. Walder, terrible way to end. Terrible.
Who's this now?
The groundskeeper, sir.
Oh, what?
Oh
That's
dear.
so terrible. What happened?
Well, ma'am, I'm not sure, but seems that somebody drove his skull down upon the wrought iron fencing, ma'am. Pushed it through. And his dog.
Yikes.
They're impaled on the back there, ma'am. That's not something that in a way, I'm glad that God has intended to take your sight. Because if the top wasn't up, man, it's grisly. Grisly.
I'm gonna pretend like I'm trying to be, trying to be polite about this and move her away. But on the way back, is this anything that we have to worry about, sir? Is there a killer on the loose, an assailant?
We're thinking maybe, sir, that there's been a right plague of grave robbings up here. We're thinking maybe the old man stumbled upon one of them. And somehow they were able to make short work of him. I'm not sure exactly. So a man in a suit comes out from behind the tarp, and he's got long operating type gloves on, and he's pulling him off. And the another constable who was behind there with him turns around and retches and throws up.
Oh.
and then get a hold of yourself. It's grim, I know, but get a hold of yourself. You're a professional, for God's sakes. Sorry, sir. Just through the eye, sir. Yes, through the eye. And he starts walking up, and starts walking past you, and he's obviously a coroner or some sort of a medical examiner, because he has on the apron. But even this guy, he immediately, once he gets past the tarp, he lights a cigarette, and he's standing there, and his hand is trembling. And he's the medical examiner.
I'm going to put Mercy close by, but what appears to be out of earshot, like polite earshot, knowing that she'll be able to hear it. I'm going to walk up to the gentleman. Right strong person to do this, wouldn't it? They had to lift them up and push them. Do you think it's maybe a gang of some sort?
So the fence, remember, I'll just explain it because I should have said as you came up.
Like half.
It's half height. Yeah, okay. But still.
Yeah.
So he looks at you and he says, yes, but it doesn't appear that. He takes another drag, and his hand, I mean, he's visibly shaken. You don't even need to roll to see. I mean, like, it's just, you can see he's shaken. And he says, why I don't understand why he didn't fight. It seems like they just pushed it down. Not drove him into it, but pushed. Like if you were coring an apple. Just pushed. There's no abrasions to the face, nothing under his nails that I can see. He drops the cigarette and he's like,
was this some sort of suicide?
No.
Say it really quietly.
He says, no, there's footprints there that don't match. Someone stood over him and through his left eye just pushed the iron through his skull. And he allowed it. And he walks away. He doesn't even care that he's telling you.
Yeah.
And the dog, he didn't even describe the dog. But something took those two and got them to the fence and just crunched down on it.
Are the cops still about?
Oh God, yeah. They're not
okay.
They got to cut him out of the fence.
So Mercy kind of uses her walking stick in a more dramatic way than you guys know than she would need to. But like, I'm playing up that I'm a blind kid, walks over to Steinar and forgive me, Steinar. Father, are we going to be able to pay our respects to dear Auntie's grave? What if it was, I heard someone say grave robbery. How are we to know if her her resting place is safe?
Good call. Yeah. So we're going to play this up. I'm going to walk her over. Please, sir. I'm a man of battle. I've seen atrocities on the field. Is there any way this young girl here, she certainly will not see the horrors you're trying to protect her from, and we'd like to visit this grave.
It's a crime
I
scene,
promise
sir.
to be discreet. I promise to be discreet.
It's a crime scene, sir. Trampling in and out of there right now. It's modern criminology.
May we walk around that?
Well, there's not much to walk around, sir. It bouts up to the fence. Where's this stone you're looking for?
We've never been here before. But my aunt, I'm trying to think of a Scottish name off the top of my head. Good Christ.
McManus.
Her name was Gertrude McManus, and
we were told it's over here.
I'm here to she was my mother's sister. I'm just here to lay some flowers. It's all my mother wanted.
You can't go past the sheet, folks. I'm sorry. That's the medical examiner.
Can you at least tell me? I understand if you can't, but is there any way to know if my aunt's grave has been disturbed? Who would?
No graves have been disturbed, as far as we can tell right now, Miss. Nothing's been disturbed.
It wasn't a robbery.
I don't know that, Miss. Maybe they caught him before they could dig it up. But I assure you that first of all, the plots back here, Miss, have been.
She had my grandmother's wedding ring, and I would hate to think that.
I understand, Miss. I truly sympathize. But all right, so go ahead and make me a manipulation roll.
Me?
You're the one talking.
Alrighty. One moment while I gather 6 dice.
Looking for that magic 6.
Come on, 6. 2.
Okay. He's willing to tell you that absolutely there's been no graves here. He also goes on to tell you that these graves are much older in this area, back in this area. Like this is an earlier part of the cemetery when it was first founded, like 45, 50 years ago. So this would be really hard earth. Grave robbers tend to hit fresh graves. And he points back into that newer, richer section. Like I told you, they started building out from the new center. So what's happened several times in the cemetery already because of its locale is they've moved the center pylon to make the pathways and stuff where like this is center of the go to the center and then make a left, go to the center, make a right. They have this big like obelisk, probably like 25 feet tall. They've moved it several times already because of the expansion of the cemetery. He says this like for them, the grave robbers to dig in here, it would take them a long time because the earth is settled. It's hard. It's packed. It's got grass on it. They tend to hit the fresher places. So he says, if your aunt is back here, ma'am, I assure you, there's nothing, no worries. There was no sign of robbery. I think they were just trying to get over the fence maybe and ran into Walder. And why that dog didn't protect him better is beyond me. It was a hell of a dog.
Oh, well, it's very sad, but thank you. I'm sure you're very busy. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. Well, I look up at Steiner. Father, we'll just have to come back another day. She'll know we were here.
I'll put my arm on her shoulder and gently lead her away.
Yeah, the crime scene part is what's really, really hard for them to let you through that.
Sure.
I'm not going to say that you couldn't start walking in that direction and get looks if you like. He would let you through, but he just said you can't go behind the sheet. Like that's not good.
Yeah.
And again, you could totally deface what they consider an investigation back then. Like they're trying to take molds, casts of the shoes. They're trying police work was starting to catch up into the 1865. It was starting in 1865. It was starting to become a little more scientific and a little less fugazi. So yeah.
Well, I guess the only other thing that really concerns me is if Mercy can tell whether or not anything under that sheet was basin touched. Right.
That you could do if you can get. So yeah, if you can get
close enough.
Sure. With that manipulation roll too, I'll say that you're able to convince him to let you look around real quick for the headstones that aren't behind the sheet. And Mercy, in one of the gaps of the headstones, you look back and you do see glow from Walder's body and the dogs.
Okay. Something big. How big is Walder?
5'7", 165 pounds. His gun is lying on the ground. He was the night watchman here. He ran into Cyrus and Adelaide the other night.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So a Vason or somebody, that has been influenced by a Vason in some way.
Yep.
Killed poor Walder.
It's and the dog is to get that animal to allow you to just cause it that kind of destruction.
Right.
Yes.
Not good.
Yep.
So, when we get back to the others, I'll report what I saw. I didn't, sometimes the things that we see, that we come across, I'm happy that I don't get to see them always as well as you do. But that one I saw clear as day. And not an image that will leave my mind quickly.
Nor mine.
Poor beast.
Nor mine.
Yeah.
So, we'll just take it back to him. I don't know what else we can do here. But where is that tree in relation to all this?
It's in the back corner, not far from where Walder's dead.
So
within about 20 feet of the fence. He died like in the shade of it.
Okay. That's not yummy.
We could interrogate the tree. I could interrogate the tree.
I'm
long
going
as
to
you
go
don't
interrogate the tree.
As long as you don't touch it. As long as you don't touch it.
She's doing her
Yeah.
best Bilbo Baggins. I'm
Yeah.
going to interrogate a tree. No. In front of the cops, they're looking at her. She's
Yeah,
talking
like, what are you doing, woman?
You're very mean, but we can talk about it.
You're a naughty tree. No, I'm all for trying to talk to the tree again, but
Are you?
what?
Are you?
Don't need to touch it.
Just
Okay.
don't. Yeah,
It spoke to me without touching it first.
Yes, it did.
it spoke to. Yeah,
Yeah,
It spoke to just her, though, didn't it?
just me.
Correct.
and then I wanted to touch it, and then y'all wouldn't let me.
Mm-mm. No,
Shocking.
Adelaide won't let you either now. No, she learned.
Yeah,
Tackle
I'm
the,
not gonna let
tackle the
anyone
blind
touch it.
chick.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not
Tackle
gonna
the
let
blind chick.
We
But I'm not
we
gonna let
one
anyone
with,
do it.
Yeah.
one with impulse issues, and the other one's like, I must gain this knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just turn you
I
in a
have no
different
fear.
direction.
Like,
That's what I'm
at
gonna do.
what
I'm just gonna
cost?
turn you in a
That's
different
fabulous. There's the tree.
direction. Go get it.
Hey, this one's not glowing.
It's like a
Oh,
jolly
yeah.
red
Now.
button, but don't touch it.
It's better now. It's a better tree. All right, gang. So what's the thoughts? What do you
Yeah,
want? Are we
so-
trying to talk to the tree
It's a better tree.
I mean,
without
if the,
touching it?
it depends if you guys want to, because if it's in a broad daylight, I don't want if people are going to see or hear us, especially the cops are right there.
And if we come back at night, it may not be. This may be like a tomorrow thing.
Yeah.
Because the night after, there's probably going to be people patrolling the area.
A lot.
Is
Yeah.
there an access out of the back of the fence to the tree from that area, or no? We'd have to go all the way around.
They'd
Well, you
see
could
us
climb
like,
over it.
coming around.
The fence is only 4.5 feet high, 4 feet high. So you could climb over it, Steinar. You could help the girls lift them up
Yeah.
and bring them
But
up.
that might look a little strange to the cops too.
Absolutely. So you would have to go out. Normally, you would go out and around. There's no rear entrance because the rear is the back end of a hill, right? It goes.
Right.
It's supposed to go cascading down towards the bridge over the small river. So there's this. The cemetery just keeps expanding left, right, back. They keep moving the fence every couple of years, so many feet in all the directions. But right now there is no back entrance yet. The fur park is still only from the front.
I'm
Oh.
just concerned about drawing bad attention to us in broad
Absolutely.
daylight, especially after we just did the whole "I'm in mourning, please,
Yeah.
I am but
Yeah,
an innocent babe."
Whenever the police are gone, I think we should come and
Yeah.
check it. I'm sure they'll get the body out of there by the nightfall, and maybe like early morning when nobody's at the cemetery.
Well, welding torches weren't there yet. So to cut somebody out of or cut the
Oh.
fence, you need a blacksmith, and that's cold wrought iron steel. It's going to take them probably half a day to get them dislodged.
Okay.
Just
They don't want to do that.
oh,
They don't want to cause more damage. They're trying to take that small section with him so that they can examine him, and
Okay.
that's what
No,
they're
why
thinking.
I don't
Yeah.
work in that industry.
Yeah.
Again, they may end up just having to lift him, but a coroner normally would think, okay, well, I can't just pull him off of it. That's going to do more damage. So I'm thinking that they would try to remove the piece of the fence first, but it's going to take time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Well, if we can't talk to the tree now, we can
That's so great. We can't talk to our tree now.
talk to the tree now, but it's
Damn it,
on the
tree.
list.
All right.
So
So now you're looking for some of the people adjacent to
Yeah.
the crimes that you were talking about,
Yes.
right?
And I have the
Millicent Shaw.
names.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rupert Cox, Millicent Shaw, and Blake Reed were three names that I have.
Yep. Those are the three that hang out with Wainwright. Is it Jenny Wainwright?
Yes, Jenny Wade.
Yeah. That's the one who.
Yeah,
That's
that.
the one who talks to Jenny the most. Those are the three. Her three
Okay.
real, I don't know, cronies, I guess you would call them, or because they're all famous in their own right, but she is literally the linchpin.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm only concerned for them because they've probably been to the tea shop with her.
Ooh.
So,
So who do you want to talk to first?
I know Rupert Cox is a sculptor. Who is Millicent Shaw?
I believe she's the painter.
Painter? Okay.
Yeah,
and
she's a
Blake Reed.
painter. She's the odd duck. She's about 30 years old. Very, very smart from what you've been told, but she's a little odd. And what was the other name?
Blake Reed.
He's a member of Parliament.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's going to be the hardest one probably to get in to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Painter it is, maybe.
He's what? Yeah, he's a playboy at his age. Like he's still chasing after the younger girls of the 20s and stuff. He's just turning 50, so he's kind of like in that latter stage of life where still thinks he's got the mojo, and he has a lot of power and money, so he's got some mojo. But he's not what he was, but he still thinks he is. So
He's got some Mo, maybe no Joe.
yeah, the Joe's kind of gone.
Yeah,
the Joe's gone, but
Well,
the Mo.
we could check out Millicent Shaw because I need a poster.
True. Great idea. I don't
Brilliance.
That is brilliant. That's great.
Sheer and utter brilliance, damn it.
All right, so the team gets their way. You look up. Yeah, it doesn't take you long to find out where Millicent Shaw is. She's in a better area of Edinburgh because she has patrons. So she has people that help support her while she paints. Otherwise, she would be in what we refer to where artists normally hang out, which is in a shack behind the chicken coop. But when you have a patron, no, you can actually do art and afford to make art and have life. So yeah, you find her studio. There's the front door is painted in this very strange look. It's the door underneath you think was started as red, but it almost looks like a portal going deep into space, and it's all the perspective is all different, and some stars are close, but it looks like if you were to just literally step into the door itself, and you would be moving through space or time. Like it's really oddly painted. Like again, you think of male artists and female artists and subjects and things that they do, but this is very celestially oriented and just different. Something that you wouldn't have expected on a front door, and if you weren't really looking for it, if you were coming at it from just not realizing it was going to look different, you'd be like, whoa, like it really it makes you feel like it's really far away, but yet it's right there the way she painted it. But there is a little pull chime for the bell to ring, so you can go ahead and do that. Yep. So you normally get that ching, that sound. Hers just has one click, and then you hear this soft gong off in the distance somewhere. So she's rigged something for that. But not long, a man opens it up. He's in, let's say, frumpy-ish clothes. Like, they hang off his body a little odd. Poet shirt, kind of not really the scene right now, but that's what he's wearing. Linen, just regular trousers. Opens the door, and he's like, yes? Can I help you?
Hello. My name is Adelaide Ritter. I'm with the circus that's nearby. Have you visited us yet?
No, I'm sorry, but I am interested in going. I've heard there was a lot of interesting performances there, and a trick shot artist that's to die for.
Oh, yes, he's right here, actually.
Oh. Hello, sir. I've heard much about your skill and your legerdemain.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, we are actually visiting because I'm a new performer, and we are interested in getting me a poster, and I've heard so much great things about Millicent Shaw.
Well, if you're part of a circus and you need something done, I would think you've come to the absolute right place. Please, step inside. Millie! And, you don't hear a reply, but he's like, we have guests. And he introduces you in. It's just creepy and kooky and different and artsy. It goes, some of the vibe on this side looks like life. So in the main entry of the foyer, it goes down about 15 feet, and then it starts emptying to rooms, sort of like a brownstone. Think of in Harry Potter's Narrow House, right? You had a staircase that goes up, but then everything was this long hall, and then you had adjacent rooms. So you have that hall. In that hall, the right side is painted to look like scenes of life, things growing, sun. On this side, you have scenes of death. And whatever she painted here is dead there. So if it's a flower, she painted the flower wilting. If it's a child, the child is aged and lying on the ground in pain. Like, she's literally mimicked the scope of each thing that she painted on the right to the left.
That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you go down this chamber, and it's as you're walking So in an artist's translation, you're walking in the present because this is the past. That could be the future, right? But yet you're walking here now, in between the two, somewhere life. Yeah.
Is the floor happen to be painted like the Nile?
The floor is not painted like the Nile. The floor is just painted. Floor is just painted a dark blue.
Can I see anything?
No. You see shadowy things. You know that the walls are painted somewhat, but you can't tell what it is.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah,
I just meant like in the typical way that.
The vase color.
Ask.
No.
Can I see anything?
This looks like someone who's just truly.
I will. I mean, as I normally like have her arm as I walk and sort of escort her around, I'll explain to her as we see things what we're seeing.
Okay.
Oh.
What am I missing? So, one of the best lines of Balls of Fury. What happened? The blind sensei. I love him. Benjamin Wong was great in that role. He brings you in, and they've knocked the walls out of what probably was a sitting room, some sort of a smaller downstairs, either pantry or livery or whatever. There's a kitchen way in the back, but the rooms that are in the front of the house that would be off the to the right, it looks like they just blew all the walls out. Like, so she must own the place. And it's just this large studio. She's doing all these paintings on different canvases and different stages. It looks like she paints multiple compositions at once. Like, she'll just be like, today I'm doing this, and I'll leave it for 6 months and maybe come back to it. So it's not something that she's like, I'm driven to do as one thing. She kind of paints as a muse, whatever picks her up. So that she's kind of quirky like that. Most artists on a commission, they're like, okay, I got to finish this, but it seems like her head's all over the place. But you do see her, and she's about 30 years old. She's very, very pretty. Very attractive woman in her own way. Seems like for her name, she does look like she has some Spanish background. So maybe one of her parents was, like, her mother may have been Spanish, married to Scott. She just has that look to her, that continental Spanish look. And she's painting, and she's wearing a slouchy blouse, and she's kind of like, far more bohemian than 1865 should allow. So in her house, she does what the hell she wants. So she's like in men's pants. She's wearing trousers. But yeah, exactly. What? I will not suss with this whore. How dare you?
Pants. No.
You should not cleave the Lord's gifts.
Exactly. So, but when you come in, she's like, oh my word, Miss Mercy Clark. What brings you to, Mr. Broom? How fascinating that you should turn up today. Sure.
I tip my hat to her. I give her a little bend and tip my hat.
Awkward curtsy.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah. Adelaide is looking at everything. She loves the stuff. She is fascinated.
Yeah.
And she also curtsies.
Okay.
It says, "Oh, Miss Shaw, my name is Adelaide Ritter. I've come hearing great things about your art."
Oh, well, thank you, dear.
Yes.
I try. My mind's eye sees what it sees. Sometimes it's, and she points to one painting and shows, and many times and points at something else, and they're not even. The compositions are very, they're just different.
Well, it's beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. She looks at you for a second and goes, huh. What? She goes over and she pulls through a bunch of canvases that are already painted on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And she pulls one out and she walks up to you, Adelaide, and she says, and she turns it, and it's the face of a rat, like this, with its mouth open, with its whiskers huge. It would be like if there was black velvet painting back then, like an animal face, like in those action moments. And it's just, you look at it, you're like, why show me this? She goes, it felt like it should be yours. And she hands it to you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so honored. This is quite strange, I have a pet rat. His name is Oscar.
You don't.
I don't?
Really?
Yes.
Like you do?
Yeah,
you don't?
Yeah. I do.
She's like, what do you think of that, Rudy? She's like, I think it's a coincidence that happens to you way too often. Way too often.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Well, my mother, they say, she had the touch. A little odd. Always used to scare Papa at night.
Oh, did she see things too?
I'm not going to say it was a gift, but mother had her premonitions.
That's quite interesting.
So what were you thinking of for a poster?
Oh, well, actually, your front door, that strange space going off to the distance, that was very, very inspiring to me. You see, in Circus, my act is I can swallow objects, and they disappear deep inside to an unknown space not even known to me. And I think something that could capture that would be beautiful.
So, not to make an adult joke, Rudy kind of goes, really? Rudy was kind of fascinated by that whole conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy makes a disapproving noise at the man, excuse me.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey.
There is no way to describe her act in a
Right,
very
better than
polite
that.
way.
That was the nicest, most PG-13 way you could do it, and we appreciate you, and so does the listeners.
This is my friend's occupation, okay?
Yeah.
Rudy's too. No, so Rudy's just like, oh, Millie, you have to paint it. Yes, I just wanted. But would you be a dear and make us some tea? And he's like, of course. Let me do that for you. I'll put a pot on right now. You're going to stay for a few minutes. Obviously, she can't just whip it out of nowhere. So I'm sure you'll be tea. Lemon. He's answering for you. Unless you say no, he's going to be like lemon, right?
Mm-hmm.
No lemon, black, please.
Right.
Think of how much sugar you would try to put in
looks back.
if you hurt someone, if you want to hurt them, right? If you didn't like someone, the amount of sugar you'd put in their tea, one less than that.
Okay. So enough sugar to not hurt them, but that's the number, not one above that. Yes, I understand. Maybe I'll just bring the sugar.
That works as well.
And he walks off. So she starts talking to Adelaide. You can ask questions at this point. She's totally engrossed in the idea. She loves the fact that you had a pet rat, that she thought that the rat made sense when she saw you. She starts sketching out an idea for you about, your face and then, your body kind of, it's you in a silhouette, but the lower half of the silhouette is this void of smoke and just this whole kind of thing that I'm going to have to figure out how to do on Canva. So I'm, because that's where I made all the other ones, and I got to figure this one out. So yeah, I'll work on that this weekend. So she comes up with that kind of that conversational thing that you're looking at. And she grabs a charcoal and a piece of paper, and she kind of does a rough sketch as the tea is coming in. But this is a time when she's preoccupied with that. If you have questions as a group, this would be a good time to do that. Probably you're getting that sense of it,
Right.
Right.
Who wants to start attacking her?
Okay.
We found an incredible tea house. Have you ever heard of what was it?
Pruny Pinshaw's Perfected Pot.
That one. Yeah, Pruny Penshaw's Perfected Pot. Say that 10 times fast.
Don't. She's like, oh, Prue. Yes, one of the best ones in the air. Probably in Edinburgh. Actually, I've had tea. I've been fortunate enough to have tea in many spots in Scotland, and I'm going to say probably if it's not the best in Scotland, it's number 2. Very, very good. And she's rubbing her thumb into something and kind of darkening that section of it. But she says, "Oh, excellent tea house, and a lovely woman."
Yeah, what makes it so good?
She's her sweets and treats are phenomenal. I don't know who her baker is, but they're excellent. And her pots are generous and always at the right temperature. Not every tea steeps at the same level, Like some teas require a different level of temperature. And
I'm
Pruny
gonna act interested. Yeah.
I'm gonna act interested. You son of a. Okay, I'm sorry. That was awesome. I'm going to pretend like this matters to me.
Yeah.
So if you're doing that, then you're going to need a roll. See how we play that? Yeah. We're going to do that because that's what you did. You made fun of her. So go ahead and give me a Oh, jeez. Do a learning, I guess, or learning or vigilance, whichever. I mean, if you
Ooh,
whatever
learning
you want.
work. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
would be
learning
perfect.
because you're trying to make it sound like you care.
Yeah. Totally. I did not get it.
So she's
Oh.
not buying it so much. Maybe you're kind of like, oh yeah, really. And you're looking at the paintings, and your eyes are wandering. But she does go on to talk about. You I mean you asked the question why it's the better
Yeah.
place. Proper china. She has the finest ingredients with sweet milk and all this other stuff. So she goes on to explain it why she thinks it's such a great place.
When she brings up the ingredients, I'm gonna question. We happened to go. We happened to stop by,
Mhm.
and we noticed one that was on there that was exorbitant in its pricing.
Oh,
and-
dream state.
She wouldn't
Yeah.
sell it to us.
yeah.
Well, no, dear. So that's something that, first of all, she doesn't make it. That's she has a separate brewmaster for that one, and it's normally by appointment, and usually it's an afternoon tea, but it can be early morning before opening, but not something that's usually imbibed or drank with many of the masses. It's a special blend that is brought in, and it like I said, it's made Pruny's somewhat famous, but it's not for everyone. Not just the price tag. It's just not something that everybody would want to try. I think.
Miss Shaw,
Miss
Is-
Clark.
is this something that, a certain type of person wouldn't want other people to have? Is it just priced out because it's exclusive? Is it like, if it's such a good tea, why can't everybody drink it?
Well, dear, there's some things in life, and as a woman of your age, you may not know this, but there's some things in life that are very wonderful, but not for children.
I think that's silly.
So does the law. But that's the way it works. The miracles of adulthood are whiskey, for instance. I'm sure that, and I can see Mercy going, "You want to know which whiskey is the best? I got a list of them." So I could, but she's trying. She's talking to you like a 14-year-old young lady
No.
who has it right, and so she's trying to be as gentle as possible with that conversation, but as an artist. So she's like, "Oh, to be held by a man," that kind of shit, and she's like,
Yeah.
"That or woman, or a woman dressed as an octopus because it's Cthulhu-ish." So whatever. Yeah, but you're getting the whole idea. Very artsy. Rupert comes back in with the pot. He actually has a thermometer or some form of device that back then, I'm sure they had something with mercury in it, that is registering the temperature of the tea before he steeps it. Like, they take it so seriously from what Pruny does that she tries to replicate water temperatures and the whole bit to make the tea really good, and how long. So, he starts getting the tea together and he drops it in. And she's like, "Remember, 3 minutes 15. Yes, 3:15. I know. And he starts watching the clock. Very serious about their tea.
Okay.
So, if somebody wanted to make an appointment,
Yes.
for the tea,
Yes.
is that something you've done?
Have I had dream state?
Yes.
No. So the brewer wouldn't allow it. We spoke briefly, and she just felt that it probably wasn't the right fit for me.
You say she. Who is this wonderful brewer? What is her name?
Didn't catch her name. Came in for a few moments. Mysterious woman. Very, very attractive. Different, though. Not really in your traditional, stocky Northern British look. Sorry for I know Victoria's probably going, "You son of a bitch." But yes, she says, she just, "Have you ever seen someone and you just want to paint them?" Like, I begged her, let me paint her. But again, she's a busy woman. But I don't really know. Different. But we spoke for a few moments, and she then said, "I'll be in touch," and then sent a message back to Pruny and said that she really didn't feel it was right for me to drink it. Not a tea for me. And they know best.
Is it because you were too young?
I don't believe so. She didn't
Very
state that.
interesting.
Who is the right person to drink it then? What qualified others but didn't qualify you?
You're clearly a lover of tea.
A lover of
Obvious.
tea.
Expert even.
No. My palate is still in its infancy, but I appreciate your thought. No, I don't know. I don't know what it is about me or them or whatever. Maybe it just wasn't the right time. I don't know. But she said that at the time I inquired, the answer was no, she would not brew it for me. I was a little bit heartbroken, but Jenny kind of cheered me up and explained.
So Miss Wainwright's had it.
I don't know if she'll admit to that, but I believe she has.
Do you know from whence this tea brewer comes, where her shop is?
No,
Where
she only works for Pruny.
She only works for Pruny.
And that's where we're going to call it for tonight. It's not as much of a cliffhanger as I'd like, but that's okay. We're at that time limit where if we don't click in, it's going to go live on us. We can't have that happen yet. So I want to thank all my players. Don't forget, here's their names. Like, share, subscribe. Hit all the buttons. Do all that fun stuff. We will be back next week with more of From This Point from Millicent Shaw's house. We're going to be picking up what's going on here. There is still some things to find out, I'm sure, as the team is doing a really good job of getting into this investigation. And don't forget, we're the Bardic College, and we are also known as a Sleepy Boy production. I'll talk to everybody next time. Thank you, players. See you in a week. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.